The Dallas Stars are a perplexing team.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe them.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I can bust out a 3-syllable word, I'm really I'm pleased with myself. Yeah.
Okay.
The 2 years removed from a Stanley Cup final appearance. Last year had an abysmal year, possibly because of COVID, and then the snowstorm in Texas, but then followed it up with an incredibly bad start to this season, possibly goaltending. There's a lot of reasons, but at the same time, there's a lot of reasons that the Leafs keep on washing out in the first round. Sooner or later, it gets to just be a piss off and just do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons, but at the same time, anyways, most recently they turned it around in a fairly large way, and they're now in a wild card spot by points percentage. That's just because they have games in hand,
which you have to win, and you should. They beat Anaheim the other night, so yeah.
They beat the powerhouse Anaheim Ducks.
You got to win the games you can win. Those are games where you got to win those games.
Yeah, you can't afford to take a night off.
Yeah.
Looking at the Dallas Stars lineup, though, there's a lot of intriguing pieces, and what's funny is that if you look at their points leadership, it's like Joe Pavelski, young fella.
Yeah.
Right? They're points leaders. But do you think that this is a team that if they do get into the playoffs could make some noise? Because, nobody expected them to go to the Stanley Cup final 2 years ago.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think keeping Pavelski and signing him to a 1-year extension instead of getting rid of him at the trade deadline for futures was a real indication that this team thinks
gutsy
that they can do this. You know, it wasn't that gutsy. Because you're getting him for another year. What would have really been gutsy would have been if they hadn't been able to re-sign him and risked getting nothing for him on July 13th when free agency opens, which is what may very well end up happening with John Klingberg.
Right.
They could have conceivably traded John Klingberg at the trade deadline. Yeah. And if Ben Sherratt and Brett Kulak got the returns that they got, I can't imagine what a guy like John Klingberg would have fetched on the open market in terms of future. So they clearly think they have a group that can do something special. Yeah. Can they win the Stanley Cup? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Can they win a couple of rounds? They might be able to. Yeah. There's clearly a shift there. I think Joe Pavelski taking a 1-year deal is huge.
Yeah.
Like, he obviously is saying, I like this group. I like it here. I'm willing to go on a series of 1-year deals until I can't play anymore.
Right.
And there's absolutely zero indication that that's happening in the immediate future.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it is when it does happen, he's on a 1-year deal.
Right.
Right. And he just falls off.
Thanks for the memories.
And that's it. And then he rides off into the sunset. It's a great setup for the Dallas Stars.
Yeah.
And it speaks to their culture, obviously. They've got a culture there that, a guy like Joe Pavelski, who could go somewhere else and chase the money and get a couple of years on a deal, says, no, I'll stay here. I'll keep playing on 1-year deals. That's great for the Dallas Stars.
Especially because he hasn't played his whole career there.
Right.
You see guys do that with teams that they played their whole career with.
Yeah.
You rarely see that with teams where a guy played, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's been there 2 years. This is his third year there, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think that the Stanley Cup run was his first year there.
Right. Yeah.
So...
so you've got him, and then you've got a whole host of really, really, really talented young guys.
Yeah,
Jason Robertson has been a revelation. Yeah. I think people knew he was going to be good. I don't think they thought he was going to be able to score goals the way he's scoring goals.
Yeah,
and he's a way better skater than I think a lot of people projected. He doesn't look great as a skater, but he gets there, and he just plays a real gritty game, and he just goes to the areas where he needs to go to score. You've got Rupe Hintz, who's a guy that, it just seems like he can do everything. And I know last year they were saying that when you find out what this guy's been playing through, you're going to be blown away. He's a guy that you can put together with tape and string and stuff, and he can still be really good.
Yeah.
You've got Guryanov, you've got some really good young talent there. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Klingberg. Yeah. It's a money thing. It's just a money thing. He doesn't want to leave Dallas. He wants to stay.
Yeah.
They want him back.
Yeah.
And so it's a money thing. And if they can find the cap space, he'll stay. And if they can't, he'll go.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But what I find interesting about Dallas too is they have, I was doing a bit of research before the podcast, and you could argue their top three prospects are all of them are leading in points per game in the respective leagues in which they play.
Yeah.
So Maverick Bourque leading the Quebec League in points per game. Logan Stankoven, a second-round pick, playing in Kamloops of the Western League, leading the Western League in points per game, just slightly ahead of Connor Bedard, by the way, but first in points per game.
Yeah.
Wyatt Johnson with the Windsor Spitfires, leading both scoring and points per game.
Yeah.
In the Ontario Hockey League.
Yeah.
So I think that's a real sort of tip of the cap to Joe McDonnell, their head amateur scout, and that staff that they've put together. That, none of these guys were like quote unquote high picks. They were all either late first round picks or second round pick.
Yeah.
And so you've got to hit on those, and they appear to have hit on them. They've got a goalie that they think, in Jake Ottinger, that they think is going to be a guy that is going to be really good someday.
Yeah.
And he's really good sometimes, and he's really not good sometimes, which is why they had to go out and get Scott Wedgwood at the deadline.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they're a tweener right now with, I think, the ability to make that jump if some of these young guys come in and can do at the NHL level what they've been doing at the junior level.
Yeah. So speaking of John Klingberg, he has, any guesses how many points he has this year? Why would I tell you?
51.
Now it seems like he does badly. He's got 38 points this year.
Okay. Yeah.
In 65 games.
But he's got mono. He's had mono. He's out. Or no, it's Heiskanen. Sorry, it's Heiskanen that's out with mono. Sorry about that. Yeah.
He's got 38 points this year. You know who that ties him with? Jamie Benn.
Jamie Benn's actually had a sneaky pretty good year.
Yeah, well, look, the fact is that 38 points is not like Jamie Benn's not exactly going to win the scoring title here, right?
Yeah.
But 38 points in 65 games is a very respectable amount.
Yeah.
If you end off the year with 45 to 50 points, it's a respectable amount, right? And now that's for a forward. Now for a defenseman, that's an outrageous amount. Now
Number, not amount.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an outrageous number. Now, obviously, we are looking.
Sorry,
you're giving me like an OCD. Like I corrected a spelling error in my own notes here that only I am looking at, on the off chance that you caught a glimpse out of like my glasses.
Okay,
I wrote like OHL COP cop instead of CUP cup, and I was like, oh boy, I'm better.
I actually saw that last night, but I thought he's late. He's probably half asleep.
Yeah, well, how nice of you. I do a lot of speech to text, especially because I was watching the Calgary Flames game. Anyways, nobody cares what I do.
You're right. No one does.
But look, obviously, Cale Makar and Roman Josi are completely skewing our expectations as to what defenseman scoring is supposed to look like. But traditionally, 38 points in 65 games for defensemen is good. Fantastic. Right.
Yeah.
So I just, I look at this team, and then of course, like you said, Jason Robertson, Roope Hintz, Dennis Gurianov, Miro Heiskanen,
Jacob Peterson. They've got some decent guys.
Jacob Peterson, yes. They've got this incredible young core that is coming up, and it just seems like the old core will be able to age out with that young core
ready
seamlessly moving in to take their place.
And then isn't that how it's supposed to work?
And then the next young core is going to seamlessly move in to take this young group's place.
Right.
And so my question is, though, is this a recipe for perpetual mediocrity? Well,
it could be a recipe for perpetual good, not great.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it could be a
Webster's
recipe.
Dictionary defines mediocrity as.
Yeah. Okay. No, it could be a recipe for perpetual San Jose Sharks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like good, really good Nashville Predators. It could be a recipe for Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
Good to really good.
Yeah.
But not quite good enough.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the Dallas Stars. That would be a very attractive free agent landing spot.
Yeah.
Because of taxes, because of Texas, because of taxes in Texas. And
I love how you said right off in the sunset for Joe Pavelski, and we're talking about Texas.
Nice.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it was a very good one.
Anyways, that's where maybe you get the guy that puts you over the top, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a completely underutilized thing in the NHL is this idea of,
offer sheets.
Well, offer sheets, but I was going to say, and actually this would dovetail nicely. I was going to say the 1-year contract. Look, man, we are one, whatever, like when Steven Stamkos was up, or when John Tavares was up, or when, this year it's going to be Malkin and
when
Patrice Bergeron.
When Jesperi Kotkaniemi was up.
Yeah, but that doesn't really quite, tie in.
Fit the mold. Yeah.
But, to turn around and say to Patrice Bergeron, we are one Patrice Bergeron away from a potential Stanley Cup. Just give us a year, man. And you can still sign elsewhere. We're one Evgeny Malkin away from a Stanley Cup. Give us 1 year. The 1-year contract is a very underutilized aspect of the NHL. And I wonder if the salary cap constrictions are going to eventually force a lot of 1-year contracts for free agents. Not necessarily the older ones like the Patrice Bergerons, but for the mid-age, like when Tavares was up at 28. Right, but you could give him 1 year and then he's 29. You can still get a 7 years.
Teams have proved time and time again that they don't learn from that, and that they don't care. They don't learn and they don't care. So they may still want the guy only for 1 year, but they might be willing to sign him for 3.
Right,
not caring what they get from him in year 3.
Yeah,
because in year 3, who knows what the NHL is going to look like? Who knows what the salary cap is going to look like? Right. Yeah.
I'm even talking about like it benefits the player in the sense that look, Stamkos or Tavares, right, are the two big examples of guys that were in their early prime or late prime, I should say, right? That their contracts were up. And you can turn around and say, you can still hit big on that mega deal you want next year for $12 million a year or $11 million a year. But just give us 1 year at $4 million. And let's do this.
I don't think, why would John Tavares have done that? He got to the place he wanted to be. He got the money he wanted. He got the term he wanted.
Specifically for John Tavares, yes.
Why would Steven Stamkos have done it? He got to the place he wanted to be. He got money, he got term, and he got to be part of a team that's part of a Stanley Cup contender. I'm not saying it's not a good strategy. I'm just saying I'm not sure it's going to work that well.
Yeah.
I
just wonder, as we see guys become UFAs and they become younger and younger as UFAs, if at 27, player X will not just say, I'll sign a 1 year deal and try for the cup here and then get my money next year.
Well, yeah, but it's got to be a guy who maybe has had a down year and is going to bet on himself. You know what I mean? Like
the Taylor Hall contract is kind of like what I'm driving at here. You did it with Buffalo, which was just a tremendous boner.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the boner thing again. You said boner. So it's got to be a guy who's willing to bet on himself and say, I've had a bad couple of years. I'll come here, play for a really good team. I mean, Timo Solani and Paul Kariya did it 1 year.
Yeah, that's
right.
They
both signed with Colorado for $1 million something.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. Yeah. Right? So if it does, then you've maybe hit on something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, let's ride this one out into the sunset. The Dallas Stars.
Oh, the Dallas Stars. Yeah. Okay, I thought we still had stuff to talk about.
Steel Town, but
okay.
Yes, we have cleared our name of murder. We have solved the evil railroad tycoon. There is no more gold in the mountains.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm doing every country music, country movie, country and western movie trope I can think of.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me know when you're done. I'm just checking for stuff here. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Are you finished?
Yes, I'm done with the Western finish.
Okay, good.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
the six shooter that has about 38 shots.
You just said you were done. You just said you were
Pittsburgh
done.
Penguins, Steel Town.
Yeah.